Alright, hi guys, this is my vlog for Brooklyn Book Festival 2019. A lot of fun, met a lot of cool authors, met a lot of cool, fun, nerdy friends, and enjoy the vlog. No, that's it. Okay, stop. See you. So before we actually went to any panels, we went to eat at a local Burger King. The first panel we went to was for these authors who had won $55,000 for their novels from St. Francis. This is my picture with one of those winners, David Joy. I then went to another panel starring National Book Award nominee Randy Rebay, got an autograph, and here's that.
What's your R-O-O-E? Cool name. You a writer then? Yes. What are they about? No, the very first book I wrote. Like realistic stories, like fantasy stories. We go over and over and over and over. Keep going. I look forward to seeing your books.
Here was a really good panel about the way I am with authors such as Scott Underwood. I was mostly there for Scott Underwood. It was a great panel. I loved it and enjoy it. I recorded a lot of video clips.
Yourself, you just see the other person. You see threats, but you don't see threats to you. You see threats to someone else, and you intercede, and they become, you take the bullet, and that way of being is something that we've all been indoctrinated into a little bit, which is that not being ourselves, wanting to be our Instagram selves, or wanting to be like a celebrity, or wanting to be, having a different kind of body, a different kind of identity, like wanting to, like we're wrong, so we want to be something that's right, or something that's better than the sports star, the popular kid, like whatever kind of we want to be like a bodyguard, and project ourselves onto someone else.
And can you talk a little bit about, one of the things that I loved so much was Frey's feelings for Rafi, the very complicated feelings that she has for her better self, the self that she's been brought up to protect, and that great moment, I think it's around 3/4 of the way through the book, where Frey sees Rafi pretending to be her, and she says, "It's soul rattling, a lifetime of pretending to be Rafi hasn't prepared me for her pretending to be me." So, what are her feelings to this superior double that she was created to protect?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like everything you feel for a celebrity. This sort of weird combination of please be my friend, and also envy, and also wanting to hate click them a little bit, and kind of a little bit of Schadenfreude when things go wrong for them. I think all that stuff gets tangled up in all our relationships with the people who have, who present well, people who have that front, people who are Instagram stars when they fall. There's a huge amount of interest and excitement in it. And it's like, like the celebrities, they're just like us. Like those photographs, like look, that's us. They look like me going to get ice cream in the morning in my pajamas. Like that. So all that stuff is tangled up in her relationship with her own sister.
That's great. When we were emailing Maya, one of the things that you said you wanted to talk about, and this feels like a great moment to do it, is that you wrote to me, all of Castellan is having a bit of an identity crisis. That's the world in which her book is set, and it's a post-colonial world. Because they are post-colonial, that sense of not knowing where your colonizer's culture ends and yours begins, it's something I feel as a Dominican.
I'm like, wow, I emailed that?
You know what's funny is that you didn't email it to me at all. I just wanted you to talk about it, so I just made it up. I pretended you emailed it to me. You're Dominican, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. I did actually email that, just to clarify.
It was a joke.
So I really wanted to do a Latino fantasy world for many reasons. Obviously, there aren't many. I haven't seen really any high fantasy Latino worlds. I've seen some urban fantasy, like Magic in Brooklyn kind of deals, which is cool. But I've never
We're living up right now.
Yeah. But I haven't seen it done in this way. And I wanted to talk about post-colonialism because it's really difficult to kind of reconcile who you are with the past of your ancestry. lot of that shows up in Dominican culture. I don't know if any of you guys have been there. A lot of people have taken vacations there, but the beaches are great.
Embarrassed to say I have been.
Yeah, that's where everybody usually goes.
Yeah.
But the DR is a really interesting culture that was dark-skinned indigenous race that was colonized by the Spanish. So there's a color spectrum and hair type spectrum and all these things. And obviously our language, our original language was taken from us, and we speak Spanish now. And I have no connection to that other language. I can't really find that much information on it when I try to find out what did Dominicans speak before they were made to speak Spanish. So there's this idea of I cling to Spanish as my language and my culture, but that's not really my culture. It was forced on me, and I don't. that feeling is confusing. Or if you go to the Dominican Republic, almost every woman has her hair straightened. They opened their first natural hair salon 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So like having hair that's not straightened, that's curlier, like mine, would be considered inappropriate and kind of like lazy. So this idea of we're Dominicans, we say we're proud of our nation, we're proud of our culture, but what parts of the culture are actually ours? And why are we clinging to these pieces that were forced on us by Europe?
Well, it's just, the description of the invaders as being taller and fairer, and the kind of, when my husband's from Mexico, and we go to visit, the class lines are so clear based on appearance.
Yeah, he's actually speaking about a part, Alfie takes notice that there is someone a man wearing high-heeled boots, like boots with like kind of a secret heel hidden, so you can't tell that it made them taller, like Tom Cruise does in movies. And life in general. And Robert Downey Jr., every time he kissed Gwyneth Paltrow, he was standing on a box. It happened. But he thinks to himself, like, if we're embracing our culture and we no longer want to be like our colonizers, why are so many of us still wearing heeled boots? Why are so many of us still trying to look like the people who colonized?
And in my other life as a theater director, we have this in this country with Anglophilia so much. Like, there's still this idea that Shakespeare should be performed with a British accent, and it's so maddening, especially because they suspect that the dialect when Shakespeare was writing was much closer to standard American now than what a British accent is now. So there is still this sense that we are trying to imitate our colonizers.
And imitate what's considered classy.
Yeah,
just
totally.
Like British accents, it's always like, that's classy.
Yeah. I know a lot of British people there are not classy.
Classy or evil?
Is there a difference?
Those are your two ways.
And what about you, Angie? Would you talk a little bit about how the way that people are perceived feels like? Well, the thing that I was really excited about with your book is the interesting.
Afterward, I got an autograph from Scott Underwood.
So group? Oh yeah.
My parents gay. My parents were like, yeah, we're bad.
But it's like there are not many European cultures of which that's true.
Yeah. I think that was part of it. Also, my grandparents were fat, and my mom was like, that's just how women are supposed to be.
Then I met Joyce Quillet's got her
I watched the entire masterclass. I've actually self-published.
Then came my favorite and unfortunately last panel of the day, starring Arvin Ahmadi.
Who was a teenager at the time and was giving me all these YA books, Persephone, Wallflower, John Green, everything she could get her hands on. And that's when I decided I wanted to, write down across, and I, wrote it for a teen. And even then, like writing that book, I initially made my character white because that was just, I thought that characters were supposed to be white. Like, at least in these like quirky coming of age stories, I was like, oh yeah, Ned Vizzini and Catcher in the Rye, he has to be white. And John Green, I'd read like all of John Green's work. And it wasn't until I started sharing with friends where it was like so obvious that that character was me. So then I made him half Indian, half white, which also clearly didn't work because that's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
And then finally a friend was like, why don't you just make him Iranian? Like, this is obviously you. It's coming from like your experiences, your sort of insecurities and all that. And that's when I think this writing thing, this YA thing, all of it really clicked.
I mean, you're talking about your teacher, but that story of you and your sister, like sharing YA books, that is like A+.
That, oh my god, that reminds me of my first book. I don't know cars. I've never been interested in cars. When I was a kid, if you asked me what my favorite car was, I would tell you a PT Cruiser, which is like, how did everyone not know? But I think, honestly, even after being embarrassed by this 8-year-old, I still can't get it straight. In my debut novel, I reference like a Ford Escalade. Is that what they are? No, it's Cadillac Escalade. So I get this email being like, I love your book, but on page 86, it's a Cadillac, and it was just like, sign the person's name. And I was like, this is like a curmudgeon-y 80-year-old white man, like he's so annoying, I'm gonna, and then like later that day, my publicist was like, did you get this email from this 8-year-old? And I realized at the time, right, I'm gay, my editor is gay, and my agent is a woman, not to stereotype like cars and straight dudes, but of course we all miss this, and this 8-year-old boy let us out. So like, sometimes stereotypes hold up.
Yeah, shout out to me.
Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah. Of course, yeah, and I was like, thank you, we'll correct it in the paperback.
You should be an editor. Okay, I'm gonna ask one more question.
I'll come back. Our hookup scene. It's the main character starts, she and a couple of friends start this VR channel, and then one of those friends, like her best friend Moyo and her, start dating, and then it's winter break, and like he's home in Nigeria and she's still on campus. And fortunately for them, there's this app called Fonder, where you basically like wrap yourself in this like malleable saran wrap type thing, and throw on your VR headset, and like the malleable saran wrap obviously like mimics certain touches and feels, and it's very teenagery, and it ends very awkwardly and clunkily. It's not quite a Fade to Black, but it also doesn't end like it's on New Year's Eve. It doesn't end with fireworks either, and that was so much fun to write. And that's why I think, I feel like it keeps changing, but I think that the process that I've nailed down now is just to write a really messy, thoughtless first draft. Not completely thoughtless, but just not letting that internal editor kind of get his hands in there. And that way, I feel like that first draft of mine that no one will ever see is the heart of the story. It's the voice. Then in the second draft, that again no one will ever see, I'll get the structure of the characters, some plot points right, and in the third draft, I'll do sentences and make them kind of pretty in English, and then I'll send it off to people. So voice and characterization and heart are really, really important at first. And I there are plenty of books that I love that don't have plot twists, but the ones with the plot twists are just more memorable, in some kind of concrete way. For me, it just came from my editor pushing me to take the ending farther. I initially had this ending that I just read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for the 18th time, and I really wanted to do this my first book is all about crossword puzzles. I'm a bit of a word nerd, as I wanted to do this kind of Tom Marvolo Riddle-esque word thing. And so that was initially the big plot twist. It was this word jumbles into this word. Arvin, this isn't your crossword puzzle book. This is supposed to be a thriller. So I took it further, and I also gave some more answers about this political party. But I agree with Tiffany. I think it makes it more memorable and gets the message across in a more memorable way, even if I don't ultimately tell you if technology is good or bad. For perceived monsters in Opal's world, there's the billionaire man who is withholding the truth from her about what may have happened to her father. And then there's this rising political party that is manipulating the truth. This is in the near future, and this is a party called the Luddite Party, and they're basically really anti-technology, and they think the technology is taking away our jobs. Eventually, making America simple again. I wrote this book in 2017. And I lost my train of thought a little bit, but No, yeah, it's this idea that like it is a rising, the second group, that's a rising political party, and for a lot of people, that is, it's not monsterific. That is a word now. It's that will be my friend. It's that's like a lot of people get behind it, and I think that comes from manipulation, that comes from perception, and that's a little bit scary. It's almost scarier than an actual toothy monster.
So, and let me hear a round.
Atlantic about how and I think it was pretty much how we put these approximations of ourselves out in the world, and we do that through our writing. People do that through the hobbies they choose, the people that they make their friends, and that's the best that we can do. And I think for a lot of writers that's frustrating, that we'll never get to that core, raw truth, and that the best we can do is an approximation. And so that's the secret. A lot of times the truth, the real truth, just will never be known. And I think you can play with that, because some people put more of themselves out into the world than others. Some people kind of like to take advantage and manipulate that idea that we can only put approximations out into the world. And I love exploring those people in the face of, faced against the people who desperately want that truth to be out there,
I think for me, my work.
After the event, I met Elton and got his autograph.
What's your name? Sakrup. Sakrup, nice to meet you. How old are you, buddy?
There you go.
Whoa! Oh my god. Does that mean you're in eighth? What? Are you like a little genius? Or is 12 8th grade now? 6th and 7th, but you're a year ahead.
I think I've done.
For you, Sakrup.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, you're gonna be reading like 1,000-page books next year.
Okay.
I'm getting genius vibes.
Oh, that's a cute.
I've actually wrote some
What? Sakrup, are you serious? What are they called?
They're both short story and essay collections.
You've written short story and essay collections? Dude, I need to check it out.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Sakrup, I'm going to search it right now and I'll leave it open.
Amanda.
Do I just search Sakrup?
Yeah, or Sakrup.
Let me hear a rhyme.
Oh, okay.
What are the essay collections?
They're about writing, mostly about writing.
Are you two guys on Area?
We live on Long Island.
Okay.
You're...
Yes, I was like, wait, this sounds so familiar. Yes. Nice to see y'all again.
You are more accomplished at 12 years old than most of us in a lifetime.
Well, that's because it's a really good name.
No, it's not because of that, it's because you wrote 2 books, let's be very clear. That's awesome.
Do you want to get a picture?
Sure.
Trying to get a novel.
I'll take yours and we'll get mine.
We'll get there, but I have zero doubt that you will get there.
Do you have any advice on how to do it?
Do. Give me 1 second.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Great. Oh, this is going.
I actually haven't read it because I saw this one at my library.
Yes, it makes sense. You're on brand. Nice seeing
I
y'all.
did. Did you get a book
I
on?
know
Writing books, I'll keep reading.
Thank you.
so I'm gonna have to get these books.
Hi.
What was I going to ask you? Oh no, I was going to give you advice for getting published. Have you, God, this just feels like an absurd question to be asking a 12-year-old, but have you started querying agents?
No, I'm still working on my novel.
Okay.
I'm at 17,000.
That's incredible.
Not even halfway.
Do you have friends that you share your writing with? I think that's really the first step, is to write your novel and then start sharing it with people just to get feedback. That's definitely the most helpful part of the process for me. No one's a good writer unless it's draft. Good writing comes in revision.
It is really tough to get through.
Yeah, but that's, the most important thing is just to finish, so you're 70,000 words in right now, get to the end, and then start sharing it with people, and you get feedback, it's really hard to hear feedback because this is like your baby. You want it. You want honest feedback. Exactly. You don't want people to just be like, "This is great."
Because you know it's not.
You know it's not. Oh my god, dude, you've got this. And then once you have like a polished manuscript started for agents, and you're going to be like 14 years old in Barnes and Nobles everywhere. So I cannot wait for that.
Sorry, I'm like the beloved of feels for a moment.
And this is for my daughter. She's 10. What do you think? Is it emotionally?
Well, best of luck.
I've been telling people to
I wrote it in there, but I seriously can't wait to read your books.
Yeah, just read
Probably
it
not
first
too long.
because I think it depends on the
Nice to meet you.